It's now been reported that the SEC won't appeal the court decision on Grayscale's Bitcoin ETF, and if this is true, the SEC will need to review and decide on Grayscale's spot Bitcoin ETF application, because if it's denied, Grayscale could appeal the decision. Stay tuned to find out more. Today's episode is sponsored by Cake Wallet, where you can send, receive, and even exchange your crypto right from within the wallet. Cake Wallet is open source and non-custodial, so you control your own private keys. Available today on iOS, macOS, Android, and Linux. And StealthEX, a privacy-centric crypto exchange which enables you to make crypto-to-crypto exchanges anonymously. Good evening everybody and welcome back to Enter Crypto. Today we're talking about the SEC and how reports have come out that they will not be appealing the loss in the Grayscale case, and this boosts the odds that GBTC could become a Bitcoin ETF. Now this news came out about 12 hours ago, and as you would expect, Bitcoin's price immediately shot up after this news came out. So as always guys, let's just quickly read through this article and then we'll comment after. So the SEC will not be appealing a court's scathing reversal of its decision not to let Grayscale convert its Bitcoin trust into a more investor-friendly exchange-traded fund or ETF. This is according to a person familiar with the matter, possibly clearing the way for the first Bitcoin ETF in the US. The markets regulator had until Friday to decide on challenging the court's decision, but the SEC will let that deadline come and go without appealing, this person said. Reuters reported the news earlier. Bitcoin shot above 27k after the news came out. In August, the DC Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that the SEC's denial of Grayscale Investments' application to convert the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, or GBTC, into an ETF was invalid and must be reviewed, calling it an arbitrary and capricious rejection. The court said that federal agencies are required to treat like cases alike. The SEC recently approved the trading of two Bitcoin futures funds on national exchanges, but denied approval of Grayscale's Bitcoin fund. This is according to Circuit Judge Naomi Rao, who said this in August. SEC spokespeople don't immediately respond to requests to confirm the agency's decision. A Grayscale spokeswoman declined to comment before the decision is confirmed. It's unclear how the SEC will proceed in its next round with Grayscale's application. The agency still has the authority to deny it for other reasons besides the ones the court shot down, although Grayscale could challenge those again in court. Grayscale first applied to convert its closed-end fund into an ETF in October 2021, and GBTC is the largest crypto fund in the world and has been trading at a discount to its Bitcoin holdings since February 2021. That discount reached almost 50% at one point, but has since retreated to levels around 17%. Grayscale has long advocated that the conversion of GBTC to an ETF would eliminate the discount, as it would close the gap between the price and the underlying Bitcoin, and the structure of ETFs allows for a creation-redemption model, which means new ETF shares can be created to meet demand or redeemed to reduce supply. Grayscale, a unit of Digital Currency Group, which is also the parent of CoinDesk, is among a number of other entities that have filed for Bitcoin spot ETFs. BlackRock and Fidelity are among those also awaiting approval from the SEC. So what's happening here is basically Barry Silbert's Grayscale. Barry Silbert is the CEO of Grayscale, and they have a product or a trust, a financial product, basically where you can buy Bitcoin and in the form of a trust rather than actually buying the underlying asset, so rather than actually buying spot Bitcoin. And what this does is it gives you exposure to Bitcoin without any of the, say, custodial risks. So there's no risk of you losing the Bitcoin or it being stolen from you or something like that, because obviously you don't actually have it. You just have the money in a trust that's linked to the price. Now, Grayscale do actually buy and sell Bitcoin in the back end, but that doesn't really matter to you as somebody interacting with the Bitcoin trust, or GBTC as they call it. And what Grayscale want to do now is turn this trust into an ETF, so an exchange-traded fund. Now, the reason they want to do this is because a lot of companies over a certain size, say like Apple, Amazon, Walmart, all your big companies, they've got quite strict restrictions on what they can invest in and what they can't. So when they make a profit, obviously they don't just want to put that cash in the bank and just sit on it. They want to actually put that money to work so they can make even more profit on the profit that they've already made as a business. And one of the ways that they do that is obviously invest in stocks, invest in ETFs and all kinds of things like that. And a trust is restricted to a lot of different organisations. For example, pension funds, it's very difficult for them to get into trust, but they can invest in ETFs. And there is a huge amount of money in pension funds across the Western world who might want to get into Bitcoin or have some Bitcoin exposure, even as volatile as it is, or feel that it's now, because it's at a 17% discount, that there's money to be made here. And with an ETF, they're allowed to do that based on the regulations. They may not be able to do it with a trust, and they almost certainly would not be able to just go out there and buy spot Bitcoin, just buy some Bitcoin. A pension fund would never be allowed to do that because it's too risky. It's just too risky. And obviously a pension is supposed to be very minimal risk because you need it to be around in 30 or 40 years when you retire. So the SEC basically had a problem with this, and they were not happy, and they objected to it through the courts. And the court basically came back and said, actually, no, you can't do that. You didn't do that before, so you can't do it to Grayscale now. And they have then a right to appeal against the court, and they've decided in this case not to appeal. This has then obviously made people more confident in Grayscale being able to turn GBTC into an ETF. And so obviously Bitcoin's gone crazy after that for the next hour or two. So an interesting article. As always, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click on that notifications bell so that you don't miss out on any future updates. And I'll see you all tomorrow night. Take care.